Thanks for watching. If this video was helpful to you, please remember to leave a like and subscribe to my channel to see more videos like this in the future.
– 2018 was the year of the thin and light gaming laptop. This is a brand new category made specifically for gamers who don't want to hulk around an 8-pound laptop and actually probably want to use that laptop for something other than games occasionally. So how does a brand like Alienware, which isn't exactly the most subtle, approach this new kind of gaming laptop? Well, right here is the Alienware M15, and this is its answer. It's starting at $1,380 for the base model. Could this be the cheaper alternative to something like the Razer Blade that we've always wanted to see? Well, the answer is maybe. Depends on what you're looking for. Let me explain. As you can see, with the Alienware M15, a lot of those Alienware design DNA traits are still totally here. You still got the Alienware logo, you still have a lot of those sharp edges that you see in Alienware gaming laptops, but we should give Alienware some credit because they did cut a lot of weight and a lot of thickness out of the chassis on this laptop. If you don't know quite what I'm talking about, let me pull out the Alienware 17R5 just as a point of reference. This is their absolutely massive 17-inch gaming laptop from earlier this year. And clearly you can see how much fat they've cut out here in terms of the extra fans on the back and just the overall thickness and weight. It's not quite as thin or as light as something like the Razer Blade or like the MSI GS65, but Alienware really has cut a lot out and we gotta give them props for that. Outside of the reduced size, there are a few other things I wanted to mention about the Alienware M15, at least our version that we have here. And the first is pretty obvious, this new red colorway that comes on the lid. And this only comes in the 144 Hz version, unfortunately, because I like it a lot more than the kind of more generic silver version they have. But it also has a really unique textured finish that feels really great. It does pick up fingerprints pretty poorly, but that's gonna be a trade-off. And the other thing I want to mention is the bezel size. This isn't going to be quite as thin as the Razer Blade, but they have reduced the side bezels quite a bit. You still have a pretty big chin on the bottom, and that makes it feel a little bit more modern, but again, we really wish Alienware had taken the extra step to cut those bezels out completely. And thirdly, I just want to mention the port selection here. It's kind of what you'd expect on a gaming laptop in terms of being really versatile. You have a lot of different options, including HDMI, an Ethernet jack, and USB-C Thunderbolt 3 port if you want to hook up some external graphics. So opening up the keyboard deck, you see right away, it's a brand new set of inputs, a new keyboard and a new touchpad. And overall, these inputs are really good and kind of bring this gaming laptop into 2018. As for the keyboard specifically, this is a lower travel keyboard, meaning you're not going to get quite as much of that tactile feedback as you would on a mechanical keyboard or even some other gaming laptops. But we got familiar with it pretty quickly, and the layout is really great. It includes the number pad over on the right still for people who want to use that. But this is a gaming laptop, and really it comes down to performance and specs. And fortunately, the Alienware M15 excels in these areas. You've got one option in terms of processor here, but it's a really good one. The 6-core Core i7-8750H, which has kind of been the go-to processor for a lot of gaming laptops this year. The Alienware M15 makes great use of this chip thanks to the little bit of extra space in the chassis and a couple of pretty intense fans. They're loud, but they keep temps low while still letting the system churn through things like our Geekbench or Handbrake video encoding tests. In terms of gaming though, you'll see a little bit less of a difference between this and something like the Razer Blade. Our model came with the GTX 1070 Max-Q, though you can also get it with the 1060 in the base models. Across the board, gaming performance is very close to what you get on the Razer Blade. In fact, it's nearly identical in many games. Civilization 6, Battlefield 1, and even Deus Ex Mankind Divided are going to get really solid frame rates, breaking well into the 80s and 90s in some of those games. Base model comes with a 60Hz 1080p display, though again we have that higher refresh rate version here. You can also spring for the 4K panel, but really I think this is the one that people are going to be most interested in for that 144Hz refresh rate. Speaking of which, games like Fortnite are really where this laptop shines. You can break well over 100 frames per second if you turn the settings down just a little bit, and that makes the action just really fast and all your movement feel really responsive in the game. Colors really pop, and that's thanks to how great the screen really is. It has a pretty wide color gamut, and this is an IPS display, so you're gonna get good viewing angles, and overall, it's really high quality, and we really like to see that out of a gaming laptop. So how does this all stack up for the Alienware M15? Well, the truth is there's actually a lot of things this laptop has going for it. Has a good display, has a good trackpad and keyboard, and most importantly, it has really good performance. And if you're looking for a gaming laptop, those are the things you're going to be looking for, and the Alienware M15 totally has those. However, when you consider the other options out there, I'm thinking of the Razer Blade and the MSI GS65, you start to realize that the Alienware M15 doesn't quite fit into the same category as those laptops. This is really a dedicated gaming machine. And it comes with those compromises that you expect to see in that sort of thing, like those thicker bezels, the thicker overall chassis, the less than good battery life. Those are things that we expect to see in a gaming laptop, and they're still here in the Alienware M15. And for $1,900, which is how much this version costs, it's not cheap. So if you're considering something, if you're looking for something that needs to work in multiple parts of your life and doesn't scream gamer all the time, you might want to opt for one of those other options. But if you're looking for a specific gaming laptop, the Alienware M15 can be recommended to you.